Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. My name is Rebecca, and if you're new here, I post videos all about luxury, beauty, and lifestyle. So if you're into that kind of content, then definitely hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of my future videos. And in today's video, I have an exciting unboxing for you. As you can already tell from the title, you know what it is, but in this video, I'm going to be unboxing the item, telling you how I got it, and also a bit of a story time on how I came to the conclusion for this specific piece. So if any of that interests you, then just keep on watching. All right, so I do have something here from Louis Vuitton. I'm going to be unboxing it, and I will be giving you guys kind of a rundown of everything about the piece, but I have to say this item was extremely hard to get, so I'm just floored that I even have it, and I'm going to explain to you how I got it in a little bit. But first, let's just go ahead and unbox it. So I'm going to switch angles so that you can kind of see the unboxing process a little bit better. So let's go ahead and unbox this cutie. Okay, so now that we have unboxed this beautiful piece, this is the Agenda GM from Louis Vuitton. This is the largest size of their ring-bound planners. They have the PM, MM, and this GM, which they're also known as small ring, medium ring, and large ring. So this Agenda is equivalent to an A5 size planner. I am going to also show you this compared to my PM just so you can see the size difference, because I do in fact have the Agenda PM as well. So this item, let me explain how I purchased it. This has been extremely hard to find, and I had been looking at it online for a while and it was never ever in stock. Even when I would check the locations that had it available, I really didn't see it available in the US much at all. And anytime I did see that a store had it, I would call and they said it was not available to order. So I did go into the store a couple times just randomly when I happened to be at the mall, and they never had it. And it's actually kind of weird because one of the SAs at my store told me that the Damier Ebene version of this was being discontinued. I don't know how true that is, just because I do still see it on the website, and I haven't heard anything about that elsewhere, just from him. So I don't know if he was saying that just because the stock has been so low or what. So anyway, I do have a relationship with a sales associate at my store, and I ended up just texting him one day and I said, hey, do you see that this item is available to order? Because I had seen on the online that about 4 stores in the US had it. That was the most I had seen in the last month or two. So I ended up texting him and he said yes. He's like, we can order it, and when I get in tomorrow, I will send you the link to be able to order it. So he did do that, and I was able to get it, obviously. And I don't know why these pieces are so hard to find. One of the SAs that I saw when I went to pick it up, because my SA was busy, he told me that the reason that these are so limited or hard to find is because a lot of people do digital planning now, so they're just not making as many of them. So I think my best tip for you to be able to get your hands on one of these is just try to get a connection with an actual sales associate, just because I feel like if I didn't have that connection, calling that 800 number was just not getting me anywhere. Every single time I called, even when I saw that 4 stores had it, the online number told me that they could not order it. So maybe other people have had different experiences where the 800 number has been able to order things for them, but my advice is just try to build a connection with a sales associate. Even if you just go in, get a card and text them. You know, some people, I've had hit or miss experiences with sales associates. Luckily, the one I have now is awesome and he always responds to me, because I've had others like that just don't even respond when you message them. So, it definitely helps when you have a sales associate that can order things for you. So anyway, I have a bit of a story time on like why I kind of went for this planner, my planner journey with Louis Vuitton, because this is not the first time that I have owned this planner. So I guess we'll jump into the story time, and then I'm going to show you a comparison of this between my PM, and I'm also going to show you the different size of the inserts. Like I'll show you an A5 insert compared to my pocket size insert, because that's what the small ring agenda is. So I have had quite a history with the Louis Vuitton agendas. Several years ago, I had purchased from the Facebook group that everybody talks about here, the Louis Vuitton Addicted Facebook group. I purchased the agenda, and for whatever reason, I ended up purchasing a GM agenda off of Poshmark. That was the first item I ever owned, and this was years ago. And I ended up selling it because I just found that I wasn't really enjoying it. I don't know, I just wasn't really into the ring bound system at that point. That was the first ring bound planner I had ever owned. I got sucked into the YouTube planning community, and a lot of people have these, so that's why I ended up going for that. So I ended up selling that, and then I ended up getting the agenda pre-loved as well from, I believe that I got from the Facebook group, the LV Addicted Facebook group. And I just didn't really like the size of the inserts, because while I find the agenda is a great size for like carrying it around with you, I don't really love the size of the inserts. And I do have a tip on what you can do to decide which one you might want before doing it. So I'll tell you that in a little bit. So anyway, I ended up getting the pre-loved, and I ended up selling that too after some time. And then I ended up switching to the Erin Condren Life Planner, which I would say is like a similar size to this. I mean, it's 8x9. No. Is it 7x9? It's 7x9. So it's a decent size, and I really was enjoying that. The only thing I started to dislike about it was that, it's just a planner. You can't really add inserts. You can't, it did come with lined pages as well, but it was pretty much just a monthly and a weekly planner. That was it. So after kind of like diving into the YouTube planning community again, I ended up deciding to purchase the again, and I did that at the beginning of 2020. And I do actually have a video of me unboxing that on my channel, and I ended up buying it, and then I bought a bunch of inserts for it. I attempted to start putting everything together and using it, and I decided I don't like this. I didn't like the size. It was very difficult to write in. At the time, I was also very scared of like messing it up because it was brand new. With the other two I had previously, I did get those pre-loved, so I wasn't as nervous about, ooh, it's so, it's perfect, it's brand new, I don't want to mess it up. So anyway, I ended up returning that one, and then it was, I believe at the end of last year, I ended up picking up the PM agenda, and I do have an unboxing video for that as well. And surprisingly enough, I actually really do like the PM agenda. So I had purchased the PM agenda because I really wanted to like get my toes wet with the ring bound system again. And I wanted it mainly for like on the go. Like the PM agenda can pretty much fit in all of my smaller bags at this point for the bags that I own. And I really wanted something that I can like write my grocery list down. I wasn't really intending to use it as like an everyday planner. However, it was starting to become like an everyday planner, and I was really kind of getting used to the idea of like the inserts and having different things to track and all the different inserts that you can get to fully customize your planner. So that is when the GM agenda made it back to my list, my wish list. And I also was debating between this and the again, but I've decided like the is just too small. The pages are too narrow. It's just too small for me. And you may be thinking, but you use the PM agenda, so how does that make sense? Mainly because for this agenda, I plan to do a lot more in-depth planning, whereas with my PM agenda, it's very minimal, like just some note-taking, some to-dos, grocery lists. It's very, very minimal. Now, of course, now that I have this, it will be interesting to see like how much I keep using my PM agenda. You know, I mean, like I said, I like it for on the go. So like if I don't want to bring this around, if I'm carrying a smaller bag, I can bring my PM with me and then I can jot things down that I might need to add to this planner. So that is pretty much my journey with these agendas, and I think this is going to be a win. I mean, you know, I could end up using this for a while and deciding I really don't like it, but the beauty of these is that they can resell for more usually, especially with all the price increases that they do, but I do intend to keep this. So this is my first wish list item for the year that I'm checking off, so I'm really excited about that. Let me go ahead and show you the PM agenda in comparison just so you can see the difference. All right, so here is my PM agenda. Oh, and I also wanted to mention, I ended up going with the monogram, even though I have this in monogram, because there's just something about the planners in monogram that I really, really like, especially the GM. I was willing to get the Damier Ebene, but I ended up deciding, you know, just get that monogram because that's the one you really, really want. Don't settle, just wait until, you know, you can get this one. So anyway, here is the size difference. As you can see, it is very tiny in comparison to the GM. It's quite a difference. So also let me go ahead and pull out some inserts so you can see the difference between the inserts. And I'm going to give you a tip on how you can test your size point at home without buying any inserts. All right, so here is an A5 insert and here is a pocket insert. So as you can see, it is quite a bit smaller for the pocket, and this GM is very, very big. The thing I really like about the A5 inserts is that they are wider. So my tip for you, if you're trying to decide which size to get without actually spending any money on inserts, is Google search the dimensions for each of the different sizes. You do pocket size for the PM, it's personal size for the MM, and it's A5 size for the GM. So if you search the dimensions, go into Microsoft Word and just create a text box with those exact dimensions and make sure that you have the fill line for the outline. Print that out, cut it, and then you can kind of see what the size difference is between each one. And like I said, the main reason I like the A5 size is because they are wider. The MM inserts are very narrow, kind of like this. I mean, they're a little bit more wide than this, of course, but they're just very narrow, so it was really hard to write in the agenda with the rings. So I think this one is going to be a lot better for, you know, writing. And like I said, I have used A5 size before because I've owned this before. So, you know, as you see, it's going to just be really nice to be able to have a lot of room to, you know, write down everything you want to plan. So I'm going to open this up, even though I did show it in the unboxing. The one thing I want to say is that this buckle is super hard to open. When I was inspecting the piece in the store, the SA I was like trying to pull, he's like, just pull it. And I'm like, oh, I'm so scared because it's so tight. I'm sure with the use that will probably like ease up a little bit, but for now I am going to try to be careful when I open it because it is very tight right now. So this is what the inside of it looks like. So you do not have any card slots. So that is one of the biggest differences between like the MM, even the PM and to the GM is that there's no card slots. The MM has a bunch of card slots. The PM has 3. So I know some people do like to use the PM and the MM as wallets, especially for people that do the like cash envelope system. You know, I know a lot of them like to use the MM or the PM for a wallet. Now, this obviously does not have the same amount of card slots. It has no card slots. This is not a card slot. This is just a little like slip pocket on each side. So, you know, if you do intend to carry cards around in your planner, then the GM probably isn't going to be the best for you unless you buy like the insert with card slots, which I believe I did buy one of those. I did buy a bunch of planner supplies from Etsy, and I will be doing a video that will probably come within the next week or so from the time you're seeing this, because I'm only waiting on a couple more things that should be here within the next few days. So I am going to film that haul, and I'm also going to film me setting this up and doing my April planning. My new series idea on this channel, even though it's a little bit different than what I normally post, is I do intend to try to do like weekly planning and monthly planning. I'm not sure, maybe I'll end up just doing like monthly planning, setting up my months, but if I have enough going on during the weeks, then I will go ahead and film those just so you can kind of see how I use my planner. So stay tuned for that and hit the subscribe button if you do want to see, weekly or monthly planning. Definitely let me know down below. But I will definitely be doing a planner supplies haul and a April monthly planning and planner setup once I receive all of my items. So stay tuned for that in the coming weeks. But anyway, yeah, so there are, 6 rings. They are a really good size. You can definitely fit a ton in this. That is the one drawback to the PM, is you really can't fit a lot of inserts in with the standard rings that come in it. I know a lot of people do upgrade their rings in the PM, but I just don't want to do that. I want to use the items how I purchased them. So yes, that is one drawback to the PM, but for my purposes, I really don't mind. One of the things that also drew me to the GM was that through using the PM, I was finding that I would kind of like to be able to keep like a whole year at once in here, whereas in my PM, I can only keep like 3 months at a time, and that's only like the monthly view. That's not even weeklies or dailies. I was constantly taking those out every week, and I would just replace them with new ones. So I think it would be nice to have the GM because I'll be able to like keep my whole year. So as things come up that I need to plan for, I can go ahead and notate it in future months. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm just really excited to be getting to use this size planner again. It's been a while since I've actually been using like a big planner. I've just been using this one for the last however many months that I've owned it. So yeah, I'm really excited about this piece, and I'm gonna pretty much wrap up the video here because I've already rambled for about 15 minutes now. I also wanted to note that the price of this item is $840. So yes, it is steep for literally just a binder, it's not even the inserts. I did have to spend more on the inserts. However, one thing I did do is I bought a lot of printables. I used to hate the idea of printable inserts until I got my PM, and then I decided I would buy some printables because then, I can just print them whenever I want. They're undated. I don't have to worry about, them only being for a certain amount of time. And once I got better with actually printing and cutting, I actually do like having printables. Of course, I did purchase some pre-done ones like the yearly. I didn't feel like dealing with printing those. I just bought printables for items that I would like to have for a long time. Like I got some dailies that are like hourly dailies, and I'm going to show you all of this in the planning supplies haul, so you have to stay tuned for that. But all those things still do cost money, so you have to consider the initial investment into this type of planner is more than just the planner itself. So you just kind of have to think about it that way. But at the same time, once you've made that initial investment, then to replace your inserts every year, the cost per use goes down. So for instance, if, a lot of the inserts I got were printables, except for like my yearly printables, right? So that means every year I'll really only need to be buying the yearly inserts because I already have all my other printables that I can just keep printing and reusing. So my initial investment in it was hefty right now, but then over the years, assuming I really do enjoy it, then, I will get my money's worth out of it. And worst case is, like I said, because of all the price increases that Louis Vuitton does all the time, if you take care of your item, you can pretty much at least get what you paid for it back. So I'm not really too worried that if I end up hating it a year from now or something, that, I would be able to get my money back, no problem. So anyway, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this unboxing. I'm super excited about this piece, and I can't wait to film more videos using it so you guys can actually see it in action. If you would like to see that in more lifestyle related videos, then definitely hit that subscribe button before you go. And I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.